Hello, time travelers. Welcome back. So earlier this week, we talked about how time has two sets of numbers, right? We have hours and we have minutes. And digitally, we write it out like this, or we read it like this. So there's two numbers, then there's these two dots to separate them, and they go like this, right? And the first numbers happen to be the hours. And the second set of numbers happens to be the minutes. And that's how we read a clock. Then we talked about how when the minutes say 00, we say it's something o'clock, right? O'clock. And then we talked about how if the minutes say 30, we either say it's 2:30, 4:30, 10:30, or we can say it's half past. Okay, so we talked about both those things, and those are the two most common. But we'll also hear people sometimes say 3:15 or 3:45 or a quarter till or a quarter past. And again, you start to wonder, especially when you're in first and second grade, you start to wonder, what on earth are they talking about? How can I learn to tell those times for myself? So again, today I'm just going to make a clock. And the more times that you make a clock, the better you'll get at telling time. So pause me and go get a piece of paper if you want. But here we go. Okay, and just like on my big yellow clock, I'm going to do the hours in red and I'll do the minutes in blue. So again, I start with my 12 at the top, North Pole, South Pole, right? East and West. Then I fill in my numbers. And again, this is just a way to do it so things don't become all crazy. Oh, it's supposed to be a 10 and an 11. There we go. And then I need to put my minutes. Okay, well, I start at the 1 with my 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, here's my 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Okay, remember there's that 30 at the bottom. Well, I believe yesterday we split the clock in half. So I'm going to actually use yellow. Right down the middle. Half a pizza. When you go to a pizza parlor, sometimes I know in our family we'll have to say half cheese, half veggie, half and half. Okay, well now the other way to split a clock and the other way that you'll hear people talk about splitting a clock is in quarters. Quarters means 4, okay? So it takes 4 quarters to make $1. It takes 4 quarters to play a football game. So quarters would look like this. You split the clock into 4, okay? And here are the quarters that it talks about. So you know that a lot of times we say 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. This is the o'clock, right? The minute hand comes along and we say o'clock when the hand is right there. Well, if the minute hand is pointing to the 15, we could say it's 3:15, or we could say it's 3:15, because that minute hand will have moved deet, 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 a quarter past the o'clock. Or if the minute hand is pointing over here to the 45, which means it's 3:45, we could say it's 4:45. That means a quarter until the minute hand gets back up to the next o'clock. Again, a lot of times it's grandparents who use this language with us. You have to remember, a lot of older people only learned how to tell time on these clocks. So they naturally wear a watch and tell time on these clocks. That's why it's so important for us to learn. So we're going to do some practicing on here. Let's see. I'm going to start with 8 o'clock today. Okay? You know 8 o'clock. There it is. 8 o'clock. Okay? Now we're going to get to 8:15. So let's see what that looks like. 5, 10, 15. There's 8:15. Okay, now I could also say that that's 8:15, because I think I have some expo markers here so I can write right on this clock. Because if I was to split this clock, well, this one doesn't even work. What do you know? It's a bummer. Oh, that's better. If I was to split it into quarters, watch. 5, 10, 15. Okay, it's 8:15. Oh, I went 8:15 o'clock. Okay, now I'm going to come down here. Oh, look at that. It's 8:30, or it's 8:30 o'clock. Okay, now I'm going to keep going. 35, 40, 45. Oh my goodness, it's 8:45. Well, that means my minute hand has a quarter to go until it gets to, ta-da, 9 o'clock. So let's do that again. Now it's 9 o'clock. Okay, and I'm going to move my minute hand 5, 10, 15 minutes. Well, I can say it's 9:15, or I can say it's 9:15, because my minute hand went 1/4 of where it has to go. Now I can keep going down here. Oh, and now it's 9:30, or I could say it's 9:30, because again, that minute hand went halfway past 9. Okay, now he's going to keep going. 35, 40, 45. Okay, now it's 9:45, right? Or I could say, well, it's only 1/4 until 10 o'clock. Because watch, when this minute hand goes his last quarter, he ends up at 10 o'clock. Okay, so this would be the first quarter. First, second, third, fourth. Now this takes some extreme getting used to. So we're going to just practice doing a couple. And then you'll pretty much have to practice throughout life doing this. I hate to tell you. Okay, so let's look at this one right here. Okay, take a deep breath. First, look at your bossy hand. Remember, that's the hour hand. And I see that my hour hand is right after the 1. So obviously it's not at the 2 yet. So I know it's 1 something. Okay, now I'm going to look at the minute hand. Oh, and look at this. 15. So it's 1:15. Or if I want to get fancy, I could say it's 1:15 because my minute hand went 1/4 of the way it needs to go. Okay? So 1:15 or 1:15. Let me give you another one. Ooh, okay. Now let's look at this one real close. First, we got to look at the boss. Now, if I'm looking at the boss from far away, kind of looks like it's pointing to the 4. But then if I use my real secret math eyes, I see, oh my goodness, it's not on the 4 yet. It's almost there, but it's not right on the 4 where it should be. It's still in the 3 zone. And when I look at how many minutes, it's because it's 3:45. It's very close to 4. How far does it have to go? Look, it only has to go 1/4 till it gets to 4. So that's why 3:45 is really close to 4, but it's not there yet. But if somebody said to you, hey, what time is it? Is it 4 o'clock? You could say, oh no, close though. It's 1/4 till 4. Because in just 1/4, it's going to be 4 o'clock. Okay, we're going to do one more. And you might have to watch this video like 8 million times to understand this. So if you're sitting at home right now going, what is that crazy lady talking about? I don't blame you one bit. All right. Let's start at this time. Let's see. What time is it? Did you say 7 o'clock? You are so smart. I give you an easy one. The minute hand is up top at the o'clock. Okay, so now let's, take a trip around 7 o'clock. We want to get to 8 o'clock, right? That's our goal. Okay, minute hand, you got to do it. You got to go all 60 minutes until you get to 8 o'clock. Okay, so first, he's going to go his first quarter. 5, 10, 15. Good job, minute hand. It is now 7:15 or 7:15 because he ran 1/4 past 7. Okay, little minute hand, keep going, keep running. Okay, 20, 25, 30. Okay, it is now 7:30 or 7:30. He went halfway. So now you might want to take a little break. It's a little tiring. So he's gone halfway around the clock. Okay, now here he goes. 35, 40, 45. Okay, it's 7:45. He still hasn't gotten up to 8 yet. He's very, very close, but let's look. He still has 1/4 to go. So he has 1/4 to go until he gets to 8. Here he goes. 50, 55, 60. And there he is at 8 o'clock. All right. So keep practicing, guys. I know that's super tricky. Time is something that we work on all throughout elementary school. If you have an analog clock at home, you really, really want to try to take it out, and you only need to practice on it. Even 10 minutes a day will give you a head start on learning time for 2nd grade, okay? So you can do it, I promise. I'm proud of you guys. Have fun. I love you. I miss you. There's no place like home. Bye.